Right there.
All right. So last time we read, Celeste was talking about the lights flickering in the attic and how um, that was happening, and it shouldn't have been happening because there was not a light bulb even there, right? It's completely broken, so something's happening there. Um, yeah. Chapter 12. Is anyone afraid? I ask. Owen and Capri shake their heads, but I can't tell if they're telling the truth or not. Grandma said she wasn't scary, remember? Daisy says. So let me get this straight, Capri says. You're afraid of thunderstorms, but not the possibility of talking to a ghost? Well, it's not really the storms I'm afraid of. It's the possibility of the power going out or someone getting hurt, Daisy says. And that kind of already happened, Capri tells her, pointing toward her knee. The getting hurt part. Daisy shrugs. Yeah, it's just like how you're not really afraid of driving. You're just afraid of messing up because you like to be perfect. Who told you that? Capri says, narrowing her eyes. I thought it was Celeste, but now I'm not so sure. Well, now that we have that out of the way, Capri says, rolling her eyes, it feels like we're stalling. Let's do this. Capri runs to her room and comes back out with her cell phone in a chair. She turns on the flashlight app. Spot me, Celeste, Capri says. I hold the chair still while Capri stands on top, grabs the string, and pulls the attic door down. It creaks open, and the steps lead to what looks like the black hole in the ceiling. She shines her phone into the attic. It gives us a small view, but it's still pretty dark. Creepy, Owen says. Capri takes a deep breath and hoists herself up. She grunts a little bit, and muscles pop out of her arms and legs. You come, Celeste. Then we can help Daisy up, and Owen can come up last. We help one another up and look around the cramped hot space. And Granddad said there was no light switch? Owen asks. Nope, no bulb either, I say. Owen doesn't say anything. We each walk around the attic. I try to remember exactly which box it was that I'm thinking of. I know it was by the window. It's hard to see anything that the farther we get from the attic door with the weak light that filters in from downstairs. It's cloudy, so even the small window isn't giving us much light. There are boxes everywhere. Owen stumbles into one, and the sound makes us all jump. My foot hits a really worn-looking box. I open it, and it's a jumble of random items, shoes and old clothes that look like they belong to a little girl. Maybe these were my mom's things. The attic gets a shade darker. Let's move on, I say. Owen grabs another box and opens it, throwing things around. It just looks like a bunch of Christmas decorations. Nothing, he says. Finally, I see what looks like a box I saw when I was up here with Granddad. There it is, I say. I wonder what we'll find. We open the box. I don't see the pair of eyes staring at me like I did before. There are a bunch of old newspapers and photo albums. We pull out a big tan photo album and a few newspapers. The photo album is worn. Some of the edges are coming off, and it seems like the cover is hanging on by a thread. I open it. I see a picture of what looks like Grandma Judy holding her hands with a little girl who looks holding hands with a little girl who looks a little older than her. Capri flashes her phone over the page. Wow, I whisper. Celeste, Daisy says. She really looks so much like you. Maybe there's more, Capri says. Turn the page. I turn the page and shriek, dropping the book. There is a huge black and white photo of me covering the entire side of the album. I mean, of Great Aunt Ellie. We can see every detail of her face, her braids. They are the exact same style that Capri braided my hair in yesterday. The other photos I've seen match the hairstyles I had before. Everything, even the mole above her eyebrow, even her teeth are exactly like mine. It's like her photos are changing to look more like me. Whoa! Owen and Daisy and Capri all say in unison. I look at the photo from another angle. Her eyes seem to follow me. This is uncanny, Daisy says. Celeste, this isn't you, right? Owen asks. Of course it's not me, I say, but even I have my doubts. I have to remind myself that I've never taken this picture. I shiver. Let's look at something else, I say, slamming the book closed. Suddenly, a piece of sun peeks through the clouds and gives us a streak of light that lands right on an old-looking green chest. I don't remember seeing it the first time I was in here with Granddad. Look at that old chest near the window, Capri says. Okay. Maybe she's sitting on it and we just don't see her here. She laughs, but I get the feeling she's a little nervous. We walk over to the chest. Capri and I try to pull open the rusted latch, but it doesn't budge. It's locked. I sigh and disappointed. A bright light washes over me, so bright I have to shield my eyes and flickers off again. Capri and I look at each other. Her eyes are wide. Did you see that? We both say to each other. Where did that come from? Owen asks, looking at the ceiling. The light flickers bright and quick like a camera flash. It comes through the cracks in the floor and the walls. It comes from nowhere and everywhere. Daisy screams. Let's get out of here, Capri says, standing up and grabbing my hand. We run forward, reaching out for Owen and Daisy. Slam! The chest flips open and papers fly everywhere. What's happening? Daisy screams again. The lights continue to flicker. The papers drop to the ground with a thud like they're heavy. The light goes out again. Shaking, I drop Capri's hand and reach for one of the papers. Celeste, don't touch it, Owen yells. Papers shouldn't land hard like that. I have to, I say, my voice quivering. We have to find out what's going on here. My eyes focus on the papers. They're photos. There's a black and white photo of what instantly looks like a young granddad. One where he's posing by a pool sign that says coloreds only. One where he's riding a horse. Another where he's playing in a field with his hat on. I find another one. This one looks like a younger picture of Grandma standing on the steps of a small house, dressed up in a sash and a crown as if she were in a beauty pageant. Hey, look at this, Capri says. She waves a flashlight over a newspaper clipping spread out in front of her. I walk over to the clippings and see the headline, Colored Girl Drowns in Lakeside Community. Colored girl? Capri asks, sucking her teeth. Really? Owen steps forward and leans over the article. This article is about Great Aunt Ellie. We all lean over one another, scanning the article. It says that she drowned in a lake only a few days after she was removed from a local community pool for being black, Daisy says. Wow! My heart thumps. It reminds me of that woman who wanted Granddad and me to leave the community pool a few days ago. It looks like she was trying to take swimming lessons, but they were only offering them on the days of the week when the pool was for whites only, Owen says. Fridays. We sit in silence, scanning the article. I may have failed my swimming lesson, but Great Aunt Ellie didn't even get a chance to have one because of the color of her skin. That's not fair, Capri yells. I'm shocked to see that there are tears falling down Capri's cheeks. Mine too. She didn't deserve to die. We flip the page of the article, and I expect to see my own mirror image staring up at me, but nothing. There's no picture of her, I mutter. No, it's like they didn't even care, Capri says again, sobbing. I wipe the tears from my own eyes and pick up another article. This time, it's Granddad. There's a picture of him. He is a younger man in this article, and he's holding up a photo of himself on a lifeguard duty when he was in his teens. I noticed this is a different newspaper, too. In this one, there seems to be only black people through the pages. All their names are printed in the articles, and every article has photos. Jimmy Hawthorne is dedicated to pool safety. All four of us lean in to read the article. In this one, Granddad talks about how he has always loved the water and has dedicated his life to teaching young black kids how to swim. He talks about meeting Grandma after hearing about what happened to her sister, then getting married, and then, when I read it, I gasp. Jimmy and Judy decided to build a house on the same lake Judy's sister Celestine drowned in. People thought it was a strange thing to do, Granddad is quoted saying, but we felt it was a way to honor Celestine. Plus, Judy felt that it brought her closer to her sister. We all turned to look at one another. No wonder Great Aunt Ellie is haunting this place. She died here.